My name is Johnson, and I'm a web developer in Taiwan, and I work in an internet company. And in my free time, I co-founded this crowdsourced instant messaging fact-checking system called Cofacts. In this talk, I'm going to share with you how this system works and the stories behind the design of this system. In Taiwan, line messaging app is dominant. Back in 2016, we have already 90% of Taiwanese users using Line every week. Also, a lot of Line users are actually senior citizens. For them, Line could be their first step into the world of internet. They don't know how to Google for information. They just take in what they saw in Line. I'm sure all of you may find this pretty familiar because Thai News Agency also has similar findings in 2017 in Thailand. This is also the case in India with Line replaced by WhatsApp or Facebook. And this is an observation from the Digital Empowerment Foundation. Furthermore, in closed messaging apps, viral messages propagate from one closed chat room to another. So one may see the same message again and again across different chat rooms. Now imagine that you are in one of your many Line chat rooms. A wild, suspicious message appeared. As a responsible citizen, what will you do? Well, you can spend minutes or hours Googling for the fact-checking reports. Then we will rewrite that information so that it fits into the context of instant messaging. And lastly, we send it back to the chat room, and we hope that we are not hurting their feelings. And we will need to repeat that every time. Since our effort is only perceivable in one chat room, we will need to repeat that in every other chat rooms as well. So I'm very sorry to say it is not very effective. Since it is not very efficient for all netizens to repeat that process on their own, we should organize and work together to fight disinformation. So this is when our crowdsourced solution, Cofacts, comes in. Here is how it works. Whenever a user receives a message and they want to look for different thoughts, they can just forward the message to Cofacts. It is a chatbot that will automatically respond with the content written by Cofacts editors. If the user is satisfied with that response, they can choose to forward the response back to the original chat room. In this way, all the other people in that chat room can hopefully use this piece of information to determine whether they should keep spreading that original disinformation. Lastly, if the user forwarded the chatbot a message that we don't currently have in our database, we will invite them to become the first one in the world that reports such message. With users' consent, this message will be published in our open database. The Cofacts editors can then go to our website and compose replies for each message in the database. So that in the future, when a similar message are sent to the chatbot, it will automatically reply with what the editors has put in the database. So this is the whole picture of Cofacts system. In the center of this system, there is a database of user-reported messages and the crowdsourced replies that connects to the messages. There are two types of users involved. On the left-hand side, we have users in Line that can search for replies and submit new messages via the chatbot. On the right-hand side, there are voluntary Cofacts editors that can browse messages and compose replies on Cofacts' website. So this is Cofacts. It is a collaborative fact-checking platform which connects facts with instant messages. We have more than 110,000 line users and more than 29,000 user-reported messages. The usage analytics of the chatbot is published under this website, cofacts.0.tw/analytics. In this website, anyone can see what is actually being forwarded to the chatbot. You can even search for a certain keyword and see the ranked list of the matching messages that match the keyword and their search trend over time. This analytics report sheds light on what is being circulated and how often they are being circulated in closed messaging network, which was previously totally unknown to the outside world. And this is a fully open source software project. The database is also published to the public domain under CC0 license with an open API. You can download the entire database in zip files. We also have a YouTube video teaching you how to set up Cofacts, entire Cofacts, right inside your laptop. And we have put pretty much everything in our open folder. We welcome and encourage anyone to make use of our open data. In Taiwan, there are two chatbots, Aunt Meiyu and Dr. Message, that connects to the Cofacts database via the open API, and they will also provide automatic reply right inside chat groups. Now let's take a break, a lot to consume. We are heading to the core section of this talk, and I'd like to invite you again to join Slido using this QR code or use the meeting code V050, so that if you have anything that comes to your mind and you want to share with us, please come to this Slido and post. And it don't need to be in form of questions. Any input from you will be appreciated. So let's have a few seconds to let people scan the QR code. Okay. Now let's continue. From now on, I'd like to tell you some of the several design decisions we have made along the way. We also provide comparison with alternative design so that if you are interested in building a collaborative fact-checking system, hopefully this presentation will give you some insights. At first, Cofacts was supposed to be a fully automatic chatbot back in 2016, October. By the way, this is back then my hair and me. Yeah. The first version of the chatbot actually did nothing but Googling. It will take the message that user submits and add keywords like rumor, hoax, debunk, and then send this entire string to Google Custom Search API, and then displays the search result. And the result is not quite good, because that chatbot always returns posts from content farms that contains the original rumor. So lessons learned. Content farms excel at search engine optimization. So the search results are not usable at all without human intervention. Since the fully automatic method doesn't work, we switched to another model. We built a database of rumor and its replies using a collaborative spreadsheet web app called Airtable. It allows multiple people to edit the same database. A few months later, there are just too many data for a spreadsheet application to manage, so that we migrated to our own editor interface, so that Cofacts editors can just go to our own interface to log in and reply to messages. For now, you may think, yeah, I know about databases, and I know about crowdsourcing, but in the end, who can be the editors on Cofacts? The answer is, currently, we allow anyone to become editors. Anyone, as long as they have Facebook, Twitter, or GitHub account, can register at the website and start writing replies right away. There are no background checks. There are no verification steps. So this may sound pretty dangerous to you, but actually Wikipedia don't have background checks either. And in 2005, a research shows that Wikipedia is as accurate as encyclopedias. So for this open collaboration model without background checks, you may foresee that there will be some bad actors providing disinformation as replies. But this model also lowers the entry barrier for any kind-hearted passerby to provide the further information they think it is correct. And in reality, we have to admit that we adopt this model because we just don't have the resource to build a better governance model. But we do have other measures to support this open editing model. First of all, we allow multiple replies connected to the same reported message. If there are multiple replies to a message, and maybe these replies do not agree with each other, we will display them all in chatbot and in the website. We'll put the latest reply in the first place, and we list the rest of the replies sorted using user feedbacks. We also ask the editors to provide external references whenever possible. This is to guide our voluntary editors to convince people using more information. We are not authority, so please provide more information. For instance, this reply has 3 external links attached as reference, just trying to persuade the people that, hey, that free sticker message you have just received is totally a hoax. Last but not least, we allow users to vote on each reply's usefulness so that the user can locate useful replies more quickly. For editors, they can also use that usefulness rating to see if they need to improve their reply. So, and this is how we display one reply in a chatbot. We clearly tell the audience that, hey, this reply is provided by someone on the internet. Thus, they will need to make their own judgments. If there are multiple replies, we will also invite the users to read through all the replies. These are all the designs we have made to support this open collaborative model. We allow diversity, and we encourage our audience to read more information and then make judgments on their own. To sum up this part, let's have a short comparison table with Wikipedia, which is the de facto leader in the collaborative wisdom on the internet. Both Wikipedia and Cofacts allow anyone to edit without background checks. The editors of Wikipedia will need to collaborate over one entry, while when there are conflicts among the editors, there are some other designs to resolve these conflicts. Cofacts editors, on the other hand, they work on their replies individually and respectively. So since each editor has their own individual space, there will be less need to resolve the conflicts. However, this would put some burden to the audiences because now these audiences will need to read more, and the quality of the different replies may differ. We mitigate that quality issue using user feedbacks and effective sorting mechanism. Now let's take a look at the details of how users perform search with chatbots. When line user forwards a message, the chatbot will look up the database for matching messages and then return its replies. When there is no match, we ask the user to submit the new message to your database. Simple. The problem is the message will vary across time. So what if the user forwards a message that looks like multiple entries in the database, but all of them have some sort of variations? In this scenario, whose reply should this chatbot show to the user? Previously, we just returned one best match to the user. But when all matches are not that good, even the best match may not be very accurate as well. So in that case, user may receive a reply that is totally not relevant to the message, which confused the user. And to solve this problem, we could raise the bar of similarity so that chatbot only considers the messages that are almost identical to the user query and returns no match more often. But that would also cause the users to submit near identical message to the database again and again. And in this scenario, user cannot get replies, and the editors will be frustrated by these reoccurring messages. This is why when all matches in the database are not good enough, the chatbot currently, for now, will just like this, list all the matching replies and ask the user to pick from one of these matches. If the user thinks none of these matches are what they want, they can still submit new messages to the database. Interestingly, in Taiwan, the other two fact-checking chatbots still uses the best match mechanism. And different design will lead to different challenges. For example, Aunt Mei Yu and Dr. Message on the left, they have to struggle with finding the optimal search threshold. And as for Cofacts, this mechanism only works when the user is having a one-on-one conversation with the chatbot. So this will not work in line groups, in group chats, it will not work. And also we have received some user complaints from senior citizens because they think that this user flow is too complicated for them to operate. So enough talk on chatbots. Let's take a look at the editor side and focus on the design of message category. Professional fact checkers will categorize the checked message into different categories. For example, Snopes have a fairly complex rating system, while Taiwan Fact Checking Center only has 4 categories. Since Cofacts editors are volunteers without professional training, we decided to make our categories pretty straightforward. So we have contains correct information, contains misinformation, and the case that when editors think we should not process such message in Cofacts. For example, commercial advertisements and internet jokes. Furthermore, these messages, these categories are actually not mutually exclusive. So it is natural for one message to contain correct information and contains misinformation at the same time. This set of categories works pretty well with Cofacts' collaborative model. And as we move on in mid-2017, the platform is filled with personal opinions like these. It is very difficult for the editors to process such messages because these statements are personal feelings that cannot be verified as true or false. At that time, we decided to create a brand new category for this kind of messages. That category is contains personal opinions. To submit a reply with contains personal opinion, the message should be a subjective feeling, opinionated article, or conspiracy theories. The editor should then provide explanation and links containing different viewpoints. So basically, this new category enables the editors to reply personal opinions with other people's personal opinions. Let's take a look at an example. In 2017 in Taiwan, we have had a debate over the percentage of classical Chinese materials in our high school education. So at that time, when we encounter an argument that supports the cutting down the portions of classical Chinese, we mark it as contains personal opinion and provides links to different opinion. And as a platform, we will also receive the message from the other side. So we will also mark it as contains personal opinion and provides link to the supporters article. So now you get the idea how contains personal opinion works. Traditional fact checkers don't deal with opinions. They just check if the opinion is correctly attributed, which is objective enough to be fact-checked. Since these fact-checking platforms relies highly on their credits and trust from the general public, they would rather not dealing with personal opinions and stay neutral. But for Cofacts, it's pretty different. We are a platform. We have users to serve. We have two types of users. The line users, they come to Cofacts because they are in doubt and they want to see different viewpoints. Before we add this contains personal opinion, the chatbot would either give no replies, or the chatbot would say, hey, we should not process this message. And that makes our users upset. And on the editor side, seeing messages, but they cannot answer properly, this also frustrates our editors. Providing this contains personal opinion makes our user happy because they can get the different viewpoint they want. And the editors are also happy because it is easier to find different opinions to compose a reply. They don't have to prove a certain message to be true or false forcefully. So to sum up all this design decision we have made previously, we actually composed a document and write down all the conclusions of the discussions around these topics. You can find a link to this document in the Slido. So just check Slido, the top message. Yeah. OK, so since we have mentioned fact-checking organizations, let's have a look at the differences between fact-checking organizations and Cofacts. Cofacts is comprised of contributions from the netizen volunteers. And then we allow multiple independent replies per message and handles personal opinions. And for the fact-checking organizations, these organizations are run by professionals, and they produce one high-quality fact-checking report on each of the message, and they focus on facts. I want to note that although I put Cofacts and fact-checking organizations in different columns within the same table, it doesn't mean that we compete with each other. For fact-checking organizations, Cofacts is one of the channels to distribute their fact-checking reports. We do keep in touch with fact-checkers in Taiwan, and sometimes when they finish their fact-checking report, they will come to Cofacts and put their report as a reply and connect to corresponding messages. So in this way, their fact-checking effort can be precisely delivered to those who really receive that piece of misinformation in line. So I think it is a win-win collaboration. Lastly, Cofacts cannot achieve anything without our editor community. I have to admit that we are not experts in community building. We just want to share with you what we have been trying. Active editors are the key to a crowdsourced systems. We have about 15 to 20 new messages reported every day, and there are about 5 volunteers that would contribute replies every day. From the very beginning of this project, we have set up a public Facebook group for the editors to seek for help from other editors with different expertise. And currently, this group has around 3,000 members. Starting from mid-2017, we started to hold these editors offline meetup. We invite people to bring their laptops and reply to messages together in the afternoon. And there are around 10 to 20 new editors joining us in these bi-monthly meetups. To retain the existing editors, we prepare gifts to give away to our editors. We also try to provide game-like experience on Cofacts website. For example, users can level up as they compose more replies. And every week in the Facebook group, we would name the editors that comprised replies for the past 7 days. And this is the way that we show gratitude to our editors. Currently, every week, there are around 20 names on the list, and with some recurring names. So I think it's enough talk from me, so let's head to Slido and see the amazing ideas and questions you have shared with us.
What's the motivation of Cofacts users to participate into the system, Dr. Lin?
Yeah. So actually, there are 2 types of users, right? For editors, we do ask people why they come to our editors meetup. And most of the time, people will just think that, hey, they first agree with us that this information problem is a problem to maybe need to be mitigated, so that they are feeling urged about the current situation, so that they come to our Cofacts editor meetup. And for line users, actually, line users, some of them are like introduced that these chatbots, you can use them to get different viewpoints. So maybe actually in Taiwan society, there are some children that will teach their parents or their senior citizens that, hey, you can use this chatbot to check for information before you forward it to your friends, and which is better for your friends as well. So some of people are well introduced to this solution. And for others, maybe for younger generations, they really think that this is a problem. And they are really tired by the bombardment of this information. So they look for they come to Cofacts to see if Cofacts can provide them more information. And hopefully, we can convert all these users to become future editors. Yeah.
So move on to the second question. And the third. You can wrap up all. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes?
Yeah.
So the second is about automation and trust issue, right?
To deal with the fake news.
Yes. So for trust issue, I think that it's pretty difficult. Yeah, because that actually we don't expect that people would automatically trust us, because we just put in the word that, hey, this message is from people from the internet. Actually, we don't want people to blindly trust us as well. So how we deal with this is that we provide this information for anyone that wants to look for different opinions. And we provide this tool for those people that look for these opinions, and we hope that they can, after they have seen all this information, they can maybe choose one of them, or maybe compose their own version of reply and go back to their family group and put that reply to all the other family members. So maybe the one that is really spreading rumors inside family groups or inside line groups, they won't trust Cofacts. But at least there are some other members in the same group. They will see these replies. And since we provide more information than the original message, maybe they can have different perspective and then inspire them to think otherwise. So, well, it is possible that they don't trust us, but it's okay, because it is valuable to provide more information.
Okay.
So maybe the next one.
Yeah, the next one is quite interesting. Who or which organizations have been supporting the system? financially?
Oh. So how many people, I think, okay, so the fact-checking jobs every day. In the slide, we have revealed that there are about 5 persons, and all of them are volunteers. Currently, there are no financial rewards for doing fact-checking. So maybe they are motivated by the current situation that Taiwanese is currently facing, and they feel threatened. So they are willingly join this fact-checking system. But of course, I think that it will be healthier if we could find, if we could like train into organizations and have better financial support for these operations. Yeah, but we are still exploring how we can do so.
Okay, and up next with the 3 votes, this question, does the application mainly rely on editors or?
This one, maybe I'll restore it. Yep.
Question คำถามที่มาเรื่อยๆเลยนะคะเดี๋ยวอาจจะต้องมีต่อ okay, that one, right. Do you also use AI-powered solution?
So the reply human intelligence to do you use AI-powered solutions? So I think that because I do involve in editorial work as well, and I think that it will be very hard for AI to directly debunk any of the messages because it takes me some effort to understand the message and find a way to convince the possible viewer of this message. So I think that we cannot have an AI that directly respond to those messages. But AI or machine learning can be very helpful to develop systems like we can first categorize these messages into fields, into expertise. So, and we can invite people with different expertise to deal with a certain category. And that would make these debunking work more efficiently. So I think that AI can be used in this scenario, the categorization, because, well, machines are pretty good at classification.
So have to go together, machine and human.
Yeah.
All right, okay, so we're running out of time right now. Last but not least, do you have any message to Thai audience right now? Because we are running out of time, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think that I would just like to thank everyone because, well, this is the everything me and Dr. Peng would like to share. And I hope that our experience from Taiwan can help you with, well, either protect your property by very scientific predictions of weather or building a system that in a community that facilitates exchange of different viewpoints in a democratic society. So thank you for all the attention and thank you for all these great questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Dr. Johnson Lian, co-founder from Cofacts. All right, thank you so much, sir.